Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to you all. A very good morning, and I hope you guys are ready for an incredible show. And Shazad is extremely excited as well. Assalamu alaikum, Shazad. How are you?
Walaikum Assalam. I'm absolutely perfect. How are you, Maha?
I'm very well. You're wearing a very fun top today.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it is. I mean, that's how life should be, because most of the time what happens is that, whenever we come for the show, we have to wear our suits and, we have
Suit
to...
and boot.
Yeah, suited and
Tie
booted.
shy.
But, most of the time what I've witnessed, I mean, how I feel, when I wear a jeans and a funky shirt like this, I feel like a young boy, first of all.
Young boy.
Yeah. And because obviously when you hit your 30s, you at times
Well,
there
watch
are
what you
people,
say. Watch
yeah,
what
there
you
are
say.
people within the society who will always make you think that, oh, you have to be very responsible now and you have to do this and that and whatnot. Forget that. Live your life to the fullest, disseminate energy, positive vibes, and do whatever you feel like. But make sure that you do not hurt anybody on this journey
In the
towards
process.
positivity.
Okay, absolutely. And I was going to say something so apt and relevant to
Go
the
ahead.
show, but you've completely confused me because all your energy is throwing me off. But no, that's wonderful. And that's it. The saying is actually shoe size, not your age. That's one of the adverts that they did in the UK.
Well, amazing that is, but I've got something very important for you.
What?
And that is a tongue twister,
Oh, gosh,
which
no.
I want you to speak.
Well, we
at
clearly
least-
just realized I
at
can't
least
do that.
10 times. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we do not have any headlines. We do not have a public service message. We are going to do a very fun show.
The whole show is a public service message.
Yeah, obviously the whole show, the entire week has been a public service week as well then. And
Exactly.
I think that's how people have actually perceived about our show as well. And that's how we wanted you to perceive. Now, I've got a tongue twister for you.
Gosh.
And the tongue twister says, so you have to, say 10 times without any mistake. Okay? She sells.
Oh, I know this one.
All right, okay. So I'm going to change this one.
Oh, no.
Okay, now you've got a tongue twister. Okay, memorize it.
Okay.
Bitty bought a bit of butter, but the butter was bitter. So Bitty bought more better butter to make the bitter butter better. Go ahead. Let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah, one,
No,
two, three, go.
Bitty bought a bit of butter.
Yeah. But the butter,
But the butter was bitter.
yeah, so,
So she bought some more butter
yeah, to make the
butter better.
bitter butter better.
To make the
All right,
bitter
now
butter
one,
better.
two, three,
No,
go.
no, no,
Quick.
no, no.
Bitty bought a bit of butter, but the butter was bitter. So Bitty bought more better butter to make the bitter butter better.
Okay, well, that's
No,
the
okay,
I
okay,
can't
so-
do it. I'm not going to do it.
Okay.
It's too much for me
Okay,
right
so I
now.
think the one which is going to be very hard for you is going to be the one in Urdu.
Oh my
Okay, so
goodness.
here it is. Unche oont ki unchi poonch, niche oont ki nichi peet. Go ahead, say it. Come on.
Unchi
Oont ki unchi poonch,
unchi pu
niche oont ki nichi peet.
niche what?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't even know
Come
what. I don't even know what these words
Oh,
mean.
oh.
Unchi. Okay, so the higher brick.
Yeah. Unche oont, camel.
Unchi, camel unt. Camel.
Yeah.
So I don't even know
So
what these
unche
words mean.
oont ki unchi poonch.
Okay, so
The higher the camel, the higher the tail.
okay, great.
Niche oont ki nichi peet. The shorter the camel, the shorter the back.
Great. I'm so glad I
Okay,
understand.
go ahead, go ahead.
Unchi unt ki unchi poon.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce the word.
Poon.
Poonch?
Yeah, pooch. Yeah.
Pooch.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know the right.
Okay, she sells seashells on the
Okay,
seashore.
anyway, let's move along.
Yeah.
Bus. Yes.
Oh my God,
Uh,
look
so
at you.
anyway, so today we have a wonderful show to you. And as
Indeed.
we know, we have, like Shazad said, we've been celebrating Women's Week all week because tomorrow is International Women's Day. And we have a wonderful show lined up for you as well tomorrow. But the whole point is to create role models to show you that it can be done with some perseverance, dedication and hard work. And we're going to find out stories and also trying to give you tools that can empower you and the people around you, because it's not just about women, it's about women and men working together in order to take the nation forward and provide opportunities for the youngsters.
Exactly, and the only reason that we at PTV World over here, we have taken this decision that, we are going to get rid of these stigmas and taboos by sharing examples. And then all of those exemplary people who are actually, they're living those lives where, quite a lot of times you get to hear these things that the parents would say, oh, if you want to do this, if you want to be a part of an NGO, if you want to be working in media, if you want to work in a bank, this is how people are and this is what it is. But that's not what the real face is, because half of the time we do not really do the research. We're not willing to do the research. We're not willing to do or put in all of that hard work which is basically required. So what we do is that whatever makes us comfortable. For example, if I was a girl and I would go to somebody and say that, want to work in a bank, and somebody will tell me on my face that, the workplace environment's not very cool for women, and they're always at the front desk. Why do you think they're at the front desk? Just so that they can gather all the attention and whatnot. As a matter of fact, for all those women who've actually been sitting at front desk, they're VPs, AVPs, and probably presidents by now.
Exactly. It's just also about the mentality. So today we're going to be discussing what's happening within society, because if we don't create a safe environment for our daughters, then how are we going to send them out there?
Exactly.
So to discuss all what's been happening within Pakistan and also talk about their journeys, we've been very lucky. We have been joined by Maliha Hussain. She is the executive director of Mehergar, and she's also been a human rights activist as well. Assalamu alaikum, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here. Besides Miss Maliha Hussain, we've been joined by Sania Khurshid. She is the head of marketing at Marriott Hotel. Assalamu alaikum, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
She's got a long resume, ladies and gentlemen. She's been working for media as well. She's, marketing
PR
manager
and commercial events,
and PR
etc.
and whatnot. So it's
She's
a long
good.
list. So over here, the only reason to have you ladies is so that you can be role models to a lot of women out there.
And educators.
And throughout the globe as well. Because, PT world does not stick to just to the Pakistani population or to the expats. But since we are the only, English channel over here in Pakistan and going out in 46 different countries, so we might set examples for them. And we are definitely trying to project the soft image of Pakistan in your shape and in your faces.
Wonderful. So we'll start with you, ma'am. So tell us how you got into human rights activism first. Let's start from that.
See, this is not a profession that you study for. Maybe some people do, and you decide that, okay, this is what I'm going to do, or this is what my career will be. I'll be a human rights activist. You just, when you see people suffering around you, and when you see things not working the way they should around you, you feel the pain of other people who have the rights, but they don't have, somehow they cannot exercise them. And you feel that, you need to do something to make things better, not only for yourself, but for people around you. And you take little steps to try and change the environment around you so that people, other people can live better lives or can improve their lives. And if you can help them do that, it gives you a sense of satisfaction. And when a lot of people try and do things for other people, try to resolve issues around them, you call them activists. They are being proactive, they are doing things to make the lives of other people better. So it's not exactly a profession, but this is something I just do.
Okay. So it was just something inside you just wanted to help people and you wanted to make sure that they all had the right
started out, doing little things and with the focus on women somehow, because women are a suppressed segment of our society. And me being a woman, when things happened to me, I didn't like it. And when I saw things happening to women around me, I didn't like it. So, you start thinking, what can I do to change the situation, to make things better for myself and for others around me? And that is where it all starts.
Okay, but I'm not going to be very idealistic over here. But over here, there's one more thing which I want to say. And since we are on the road to progress and prosperity, and then, for the previous week, we have been sharing role models and, iron ladies and daughters of Pakistan who are from every field. Why do we still have to say that, that's women's segment of Pakistan is still a bit, not even a bit, but oppressed? When we have you guys sitting over here sharing your own examples, is it just because of the number is too low? Or is it just because of the fact that we love saying it?
Exactly, because because I feel like a lot of the male gender side is that, well, you guys are sitting here, and so why are people complaining?
You have no idea what we have to go through.
Give us that idea.
I'm 62 years old.
Mashallah, you don't look good.
Okay. And I've been working on the implementation of workplace harassment laws, which were passed in 2010 by our government and the civil society. They worked together. In the process of implementing this law, I ask organizations to comply with the law and institutionalize the mechanism which they're supposed to according to the law. I call a senior person in an organization and he says, why don't you come over to our office? I don't really need to. I say, this is the law. These are the steps that you need to take. I can send you an email And if you need help, if you have questions, you let us know. Yes, at times we go and we meet people, but there are certain people who will insist that you go to their office, you sit there in front of them, they'll talk about all sorts of things except for what you're there to talk about, and you know why they do it.
Why?
They just like to have women sitting in their room talking to them. It gives them whatever, you know, their mentality might be, whatever pleasure they get out of it. Somebody needs something from me, so I'm going to make her sit here and talk to me about anything or everything.
Okay.
And some just stop there. Others go beyond that and they'll ask you for favors. Yes, I will help my organization comply with your law. What can you do for me in return?
Okay.
Some are open, some are not. But we need to change this mindset. Because no matter what the age, it's not that we like to say these things. It happens to us, we live these
And I
lives.
think,
Yeah.
I think the fact that we have to have a Women's Week, and you know, throughout the year on our shows, we do get a lot of women. PTV World has been very good at that. However, if you notice, Shazad, most of the people in positions that are top, or most of the people we invite, are males. We've had a whole male panel talking about women's issues and laws. So you know, the balance is not there, and this is not just a Pakistan thing, it's a universal thing. That's why it's international.
Yeah,
Women's
it
Day.
is a universal thing, Maha, but over here I've got another thing, and that thing is, and I think it's going to comply to all of those people who are out there as well. So within the bureaucratic culture, first of all, people love having meetings. Whether it's essential,
Yeah.
okay, fine. Whether it's not, well, meeting, okay, meeting and meeting. I don't know what do they do
Let's
with
play
it.
meeting.
Yeah, with these meeting things. But other than that, it's not just with the women over here in Pakistan. So that's why I won't label it as oppression, because even, for example, if I went to somebody in a government office and I was there and I needed something, they will still ask me for a favor as well.
Okay.
That, you know, okay, what can you do in return? Probably that can be a job for somebody. Probably that can be,
But
I mean, favors can be in all types of forms.
But your character will never be put into question, and the type of person you are.
Yes.
Whereas for women, I think these are the hurdles.
But do we get to label it as oppression?
No,
Suppression.
that is not oppression.
It's not
This is
oppression.
sexual harassment.
All right.
And it's all right to use this word now on media.
It's
We
perfectly all
couldn't
right.
10, 15 years ago because we have a law that stops this kind of behavior. And in our society, in a lot of other places too, this is one of the biggest reasons that stands in the way of women's progress. When a man asks you for a favor, he wouldn't necessarily mean
oppression.
this sort of favors, but when they ask women directly or indirectly, if the woman is not interested, she feels harassed.
Yeah.
Like somebody is asking them for something that they don't want to or they're not interested in.
Yeah.
But you know, at the same time, when I say this, I have to say the other, talk about the other side also. I'm not saying that all men are like that,
Thank you.
or majority of them do that.
I know. Men are
I
very
know that
sensitive about this.
majority of the men are good. And I'll say that again. Majority
Okay,
of
you
the
need to
men
get these
are
expressions.
good.
I know they're not paying attention.
Yeah, they do not pay attention.
He's
I mean,
not listening to
these
me.
expressions are very
He's
valuable.
listening. Listen
Yeah.
to him.
Yes.
Yes.
So again, majority of the men are good, majority of the women are good. There are only a few men and a few women who do these things. And all the good men and women need to get together and stop the few men and the few women who behave this way.
Exactly, absolutely. Because it's the
Majority
few
of
that
them-
ruin it for the many.
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay.
A lot of men are very good, very supportive, and join us in this work.
Thank
and
you,
they're
ma'am.
doing an excellent
Thank
job.
you.
You are kind of, I think you sit on the middle line.
about
Sometimes
him.
you do.
Oh
Sometimes.
my God.
Anyway, let's move on to Sania. Sania. Oh gosh.
Sania, yeah.
Sania, I
Sania.
said it right. So tell us about your journey, because you work in media, you worked in head of marketing. So tell us about your journey.
Actually, before I was into marketing, I was a media person as well, like you people. And it was, I must say, it was the golden age of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Though there are some, some situations in which you encounter. That's actually in every field, not just media, I would say. That happens like in everywhere, even in the hospitality industry. People think that if you belong to such an industry, you might be, sort of a girl or a woman which is easy to cater and everything. That's actually not the case with 90% of the girls working in hospitality or media.
Or in any industry, yeah.
Or in any industry, you're right about that. But yes, we do face such issues like Maliha ma'am was also saying in all the industries out there.
Okay, so now that's the thing. So, like, building up on what Shahzad's point was that, that we have all these ladies who are coming here talking, being really successful. But I think what people don't realize, because a lot of them don't feel comfortable telling about the true hurdles they've gone through. So the idea is that they're sitting here and they've had, a smooth ride, but actually, what were the hurdles that you faced to get to the position you're at? Because the role models we want, that we're trying to project, don't have to be a TV star, they don't have to be actors or politicians. They can be someone, who's working in the industry and is, topping the industry, like you, for example. That's why you're here. So what hurdles did you face? What kind of defense mechanisms did you have to apply? So tell us all about this.
Tell us in detail. Tell us in detail, because, Maha very correctly mentioned that half of the time when we get people over here, now your job, while you're here, is to inspire all of those million lives who are out there and those million eyes who are on you right now. What happens majority of the time, and I think for all those people who have been invited for different interviews on television, I think I'm just going to give you a suggestion. Please, when you go, make sure that you share all of what you went through. People over here sit, oh, nothing happened, no problem,
It was very smooth.
because they now want to enjoy that. But in the West, what I've witnessed, I'm sorry that I'm quoting West again, they're very open about what happened
troubles.
within their life. And now there's this theory, and he says that 93% of all of your life is actually made out of dark matter, and 8% of it is light as well. And that dark matter, or those dark experiences make you go or move through, or probably towards that light, which is going to be the rest of your life, which is the 8%.
Absolutely. So tell us about that.
You're actually right about that, because when I was in media, my career, many people ask, why did you leave media? But my career ended when I went into there was an audition I went into, and the producer said that, okay, I give you this show, you're finalized, what do you give me in return?
What did you say then?
I said, I actually abused the person, and I said that I cannot compromise on my integrity. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm not that type
So
of
were
girl.
these the only words he used? What are you going to give me in return?
Yeah, that's all you have to say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's enough.
It's the way they say it.
Exactly.
You know what they mean.
Oh, come on. Look, let's
He
not
said
play-
that in Urdu, like obviously you can explain that.
Okay, no. But
Yeah,
the thing is,
that's
let's
it.
not be naive. Everyone that's watching, they have been in the world. We
Yeah.
know exactly what people are like. We're not children here.
What if they might probably be asking for money?
And that wasn't money.
Okay, that wasn't
Don't
money.
worry
So
about
she knows it.
Yeah.
Okay, no, see, but that's another problem.
That's
See,
the only
that
thing which was
comment-
my concern, because
That
half of
wasn't
the
money.
time,
No, see, that's the
way we
problem.
translate things can be very different from individual to individual
Yeah.
as well.
Okay, I think Ma'am Maliha wants to add something to this.
Yes, like what we were saying before the show started, that when they ask men, it could be money. But when they ask women, the way they ask,
Things are changing, ma'am, I'm
know.
telling you.
She's right about that. Because
I just, to be honest, I know we're talking about it, but I feel like the way, like, you're behaving right now, like,
Yeah.
as in, I kind of feel like it devalues, like, as I know you're representing the other half, and that's how we do it, our interviews, but, like, those people out there, because that is what the case is, that you say, well, this guy did this, like, yeah, but did he mean that? So the confidence and the boldness, we're already diminishing that within the women. Now tell us.
I agree to that.
So yeah, exactly, we do agree.
And-
But Maliha ma'am, so tell us, Mehergar,
Yes.
you guys are working on these things. So tell us
Yes.
how, you've seen an evolution, because it's not all darkness over here.
Oh,
We
no,
have a
not
lot
at
of
all.
progression.
Not at all.
So let's talk about that.
Sure, Mehergar was the Secretariat of Alliance Against Sexual Harassment. This alliance was started in 2001 to very specifically work on the issue of sexual harassment, to have the society acknowledge that it is an issue, and this is the biggest issue that stands in the way of women's progress. They are not allowed to leave their home because the parents are afraid that somebody will mistreat them,
Yeah.
or in like generally we call it teasing, but parents don't want their girls teased,
be teased.
their daughters teased. So they, in order to protect them, they want them to stay at home. They don't get permission to leave. They don't get permission to go to a co-education university. They don't get permission to work in an office because the men there, you don't know what the environment is like. So there was a very strong need to change that perception and start doing about something start doing something about eradicating this issue, having people acknowledge that it's an issue, it's a behavioral issue and it can be changed. They also said in the beginning that we'll come up with a policy so that we can start eliminating this issue in workplaces. And then eventually we will get laws passed, or a law, 1 or 2 laws passed, to ensure that people take this seriously. So that is the agenda that they started out with. Mehergar served as the secretariat of this movement. It was a voluntary movement. And both men and women worked together very hard, day and night, for 10 years. And they worked with the government, with the parliament, to get 2 laws passed in the beginning of 2010.
Amazing.
And since then, Mehergar is leading the work of implementing these 2 laws throughout the country.
That's amazing. And this is wonderful. And the fact is that, as Shahzad mentioned in the introduction, it's about working together. And it is the few, it's not every man, that's the thing. We're not attacking all the male gender out there. It is a few that ruin it for the many, and then that influence the younger, impressionable minds. So with that, we're going to take a short break, and when you come back, we'll continue a very interesting conversation. Stay tuned.
Because only one bad fish in the pond can make the entire pond dirty. So ladies and gentlemen, when you guys are going to come back, the only thing which I want to ask over here, or I want to move on, or I want to move forward with, is that, whenever we talk about women empowerment, they're playing a positive role and sharing all of what we do as men, definitely gives them a huge responsibility which needs to be fulfilled and catered. What are the stakes of those responsibilities? How do you achieve that? I think this is what our women should actually know too, and the men as well. Let's go for a break.
Welcome back, everyone. And before the break, we're in this very good discussion where me and Shazad have taken sides of representing, we're both being devil's advocates here. Shazad more so than I am.
Oh my God.
I'm kidding. I'm teasing him today quite a lot. Please don't get me into trouble.
No, I'm not going to get you in trouble. No way.
But anyway, so we're talking about the role of women and men within society. We have some wonderful people who've been we've got one guest who's been working on this on human rights and the rights of women in the workplace and in general.
And at this point of time, ladies and gentlemen, the conversation has actually moved into a zone
Very big
where
zone.
we wanted to talk about the responsibility and the stakes of all of that responsibility, because that needed to be fulfilled by men and women both. Only then that equality will be prevalent, right? But now, ma'am,
Yes.
I know that that this thing which I'm going to ask is probably a problem of a very small segment of the society, or probably for all those people who do not love to speak out too much. But within organizations now, we witness that there are female bosses too, there are women bosses, they're heading in a vibrant way, whatnot. And then there are harassment rules and regulations made. But now there are a few organizations which I have witnessed that, if in case a woman would go to somebody and complained about a guy or a man, that, this is what he did, I mean, the other person or the boss won't even give him a chance to speak about what happened.
Yes.
In fact, they are thrown out of the workplace just like that. So, so the responsibility lies on both of us, indeed.
Yes.
How?
Very good question.
Thank you.
The law that I was talking about, that the law that has been passed, we have been working on its implementation. It says that you form a 3-member standing inquiry committee. It tells you exactly who these people need to be in the law. And one of these 3 members has to be a woman, at least one woman member. So we have male and female, so that they can work better.
Yeah.
When a true or a false case goes to this committee, whatever the situation might be, if you have good people on the committee and when they start their inquiry, something that they're supposed to do within 30 days according to the law, they will find out what the facts are. And whether the woman or the man, whoever is at fault, they will suggest or recommend whatever steps need to be taken so that that person, man or a woman, does not repeat that behavior. If you institutionalize this mechanism, if you make a 3-member standing inquiry committee, it should not be the decision of one person who says, he or she could be anyone. You don't know what sort of family background they come from. You don't know what their mindset is. But if you have 3 good people sitting together, and if a case goes to them, and by the way, this law covers both men and women against sexual harassment.
It's not just for women, it's for men as well.
It's for both men and women, because any one of them could get sexually harassed.
Exactly.
And when this case goes to women, the issue that you were talking about, it'll be taken care of. They will find out, they will inquire, find out who's at fault, and then decide accordingly. So if somebody has reported a case with malified intentions, and if the committee is able to prove, there are punishments for that person also, whether it's a man or a woman, doesn't matter.
Wonderful. And so this is on the legislative level, this is in the law. Now coming back to you, Sanya.
Yes.
I'm just going to avoid. I know I'm saying it right, but I just panic. I'm not going to say it right. I don't know why. I even have a cousin with your name as well. Anyway, so now your journey was different because you're not involved in any of these, organizations which are policy making or implementation. You're just, you're a regular Joe doing your job. You're head of the marketing. Now, tell us about the hurdles that you had in your life, which you had to overcome to reach this position. So we found out about your media experience, which is also in every industry, even in the marketing industry, as you were telling us.
Yes.
Now tell us, what are the other hurdles that you had from society and how did you overcome them? Because I want to inspire the girls out there.
They're actually not just, sexual harassment, there are many issues to it. Man's explaining. You can talk about that as well. Like men, they try to narrate women. They try to overcome, they try to suppress you and they, start explaining you things which they think they're right in a sense and we're not. maybe we're talking about the same thing, but they think that if they explain it, they can do it better. That's actually not the case.
So you had a bit of discrimination in regards to abilities.
Yes, you can
Okay.
say that. Also about the pay packages.
Okay.
In many organizations, women
I
and
want to
men.
know. I want to know your specific story. Like, what were the hurdles? Because I know you had issues within the work environment. You had
Yeah.
issues at home as well. So tell us, how did you overcome those hurdles? So your family was supportive of your career in marketing and media, or not?
My own family was a bit supportive. My extended family obviously wasn't. They were like, you want to go to media, and media industry is not so good. They're not for girls, and this and that. We won't support you for that. We won't meet you for that. But when I became, a respectable personality, they were the ones who said, that girl in media, she's my relative.
But so how did
she's
you
my
deal with that
cousin."
negativity when they were like, because for a lot of people, they can't handle that stress.
I ignored it. I didn't even listen to it. Even if somebody came to my mom or dad and they told about, they talked about in such a case, I told them, just don't tell me.
No, but over here,
Yeah.
since we have you as an inspiration, a source of inspiration, as a role model, there's just one thing which is bugging me from the beginning of the show, and that is that, you said that, when I went for my audition and the guy said, what are you going to give me in return? You said, my career ended right there and then.
Yeah.
Why?
Actually,
Why did you give up?
Or did you give up? What happened?
Actually, that was I decided that I will give up. I went in to that audition with my fiance, who was to be my, he's now my husband. I went in with him, and that was his first experience in media, and that was the worst experiences ever.
Okay.
The first experience
Well, there you
went
go.
bad.
So, yeah.
So I
Not
was
so
the one who
tough, yeah.
decided no, I would choose my family over media industry.
So basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
And then, I went into marketing. I pursued my career in my majors and became the head.
See, that's the problem there. Like, as in, when you were by yourself, you were absorbing all that negativity and you were able to fight it. But once a male figure in your life saw that, there was no way you could defend that or support that. And maybe,
You know what? I didn't even wanted to defend that situation because
They were
in that
right?
situation, I couldn't do anything about it. That person was asking for,
Thank
me
God your
to
fiance
compromise.
was there. that's something nice too, because
Then
Exactly, he
again, you
was there
should
to actually support me because I couldn't, compromise on my integrity. I just couldn't do
But
that.
now over here, there's one more
Sad.
point which I want to make, and that is that, having parents who've actually been to school, who are educated, who've got exposure, and their horizons are expanded, I think it is an amazing blessing to have an extended family of this sort.
Okay.
Because, for example, if you've had an extended family where nobody went to school or college, probably they still live in whatever lifestyle they're enjoying. But then there are people who do have these stigmas and taboos within their own heads because they are not readers.
Yeah.
They do not watch news. They do not do anything. They would just lie beside radios and listen to all of what it is, and then would hear all of the villagers saying whatever they want to say. And then having such minimum exposure obviously leads to quite a lot of problems.
Okay.
You're right
so,
about that.
So tell us about that. So now, so the other hurdles that you faced. Okay, so your extended family. Okay, decent girls don't do that. Ruins your
Yes,
character.
my extended family was like that. But then, after I became successful, they were the ones who marketed me actually. They were the ones, have you seen that girl on that channel? She's, our relative, she's our cousin, she's our this, she's our that. So that actually made me proud. When I went out into my extended family after I became successful, I was actually proud and I faced them with, see, I could
So
do
everybody
it.
comes around then. Yeah.
Yes, it does. And my husband, he was really supportive in all my journey, not just in media, but also in my, in my career in marketing. I've been into like many places. I've been into Marriott. I've been into a group of colleges before that. I've been, he supported me throughout my life.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and we actually belong to the same field as well. So he's also a head of marketing of his
So he
industry.
understands, yeah.
He understands it and he supports me in this regard.
Okay, wonderful.
Amazing.
And on that note, Shazad?
Yeah, we just want to go for a short break and we will be right back. Don't go anywhere because when we come back, we've got some other things to ask. And ladies and gentlemen, since it's International Women's Day and it's just going to be tomorrow and we have got a surprise, so I think we should actually reveal that surprise too.
I don't know. Let's discuss it during the break. So
Yeah,
when you
all right.
come back, we will have an answer for you.
right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. And for everybody who just got tuned in to PT World, you're watching World this morning, but we've got very small time left. In fact, short time left.
Short time left.
And we need to move on with solutions.
And the progression and what tools and things are out there and how should we progress as a nation as well. So we will start. We'll start with Sania because we've not talked to you as much. So tell us, now going forward, everything you went through. Lack of support from extended family, but then once you persevered, you didn't give up, you made a decision to exit one field when you felt ready, you entered a new one. Now going forward, do you think things have improved since you first started your career? Like, are things better now for all the girls who are looking to get into marketing or media? Is it a better environment? And if they enter it, what advice would you give them?
Actually, yes, I agree with you. Now it's a much better environment.
No, I'm asking, I don't know.
It's actually a much better environment.
Okay.
Because, it's much better in the hospitality industry because we have so many rules in here implemented. We have a very strong background with HR. We have a very strong HR system implemented. Like, if you have any problem, you can just go and talk to them. We also have a, 3-person panel in there.
Amazing.
In which the security, the CSO, and the HR person and one more person, they're involved and they take decisions. And it's not about just the women who are suffering, it's also about the men. They also cater to these cases. And even in media, like, things have progressed well. These are just a few cases which go bad, which result into an end of career for some people, but there are many others who are struggling and who are actually now successful. So we should also highlight those cases.
So I think that's the best part.
As as someone who is working for other organizations and has been around as well, how important do you think it is to educate men and women in regards to the laws? And do you guys, in your work career, have you ever had any training or anything?
Yes, exactly. When you join in, especially at our organization at Marriott, we have this orientation session. When you join in, you have this orientation session of the whole, HR system, the laws in place of the property and everything. In that, it is discussed. You are educated about all these laws and everything in place. Okay. So, like, the ones who are joining in from, the relevant educational institutions, they come in, they join us, and they actually enjoy the environment. They do not face any such issues because of the strong systems in place.
Okay, now that's great. Now I think I'll move on to Mamali here as well over here, since we are left with very small space of time. So please make sure that you disseminate all of that information, which is very important. Now over here, what happens is she's working in an institution, and there's this orientation which takes place, and everybody is aware of all of the acts and the laws which are in place. Now we as a nation, men or women, we do not know about our fundamental rights at all, most of the time. I mean, can you just chalk out a few laws and regulations which are in place, which people might not even know, so that we can start practicing them as well? Talk to the Pakistani people who are out there.
But see, this is an excellent example.
Yeah.
Her organization has complied with the law, so the environment has improved.
And then the orientation is taking place too, so that everybody gets to know. A handbook's given when you enter university, right?
Yeah.
According to the law, this is the responsibility of every management to make their employees aware, both men and women, about this law. So they are doing a very good job, which is great.
And if in case, somebody from the management or from the office is not doing that, what complies to them?
This law authorizes each and every employee in an organization to report their management to a court of law in case they don't comply with this law. So we all have to hold each other accountable and make sure that we are doing what we are supposed to do as responsible citizens. So this is just one law, but again, I will say that we all need to work together. You said people don't know about these laws. Media plays a very important role, and it needs to continue doing that. Media was a partner when we were working on getting these laws passed.
Yeah.
And it continues to disseminate this information so that people hear and learn about it and start using these laws. The Parliament's job is to make laws. Media and schools, educational institutions, their job is to inform people, educate people. The people's job is to learn about it and use these laws so that we can actually benefit from them.
And now before we wrap up the show as well, there's one more thing which I want to ask, and that is, so since you're a lady, you've been over here as an inspiration, role model as well. How do you think that Pakistan has actually progressed since 1947 till 2017 in terms of women, in terms of equality, in terms of being inclusive? How do you think, and where do you think we are?
Boy, it's not a simple
No.
answer.
Yeah,
No.
but go
But no,
ahead.
you have
We've-
time. We'll give
Yeah.
you have time.
See, we've moved ahead in a lot of ways, and in certain places we've moved back to. When I was growing up, I used to take my bike and, ride my bike on the streets. And I could do that. Today, I cannot, or my daughter cannot. So in that case, yes, we've moved back a little. But there are a lot of other places. If you see the number of girls working in Pakistan in 47, and you look at the number of girls not only working, but the professions that they're joining, I would say that we've definitely moved forward. And these laws that were passed, they enable more girls to come out of their houses, not only to work, but to do whatever they want to do. To get a good education, you see girls' cricket teams, something,
football team.
football
Even we have
teams
had
and-
cyclists over as well. the other day.
Absolutely.
And she
So,
does face those
Yeah.
problems.
yes, so I would say, like, towards the end, that girls need to realize that they are complete human beings first.
Absolutely.
And the men in the society also need to realize that women are complete human beings.
Exactly.
They're not only, our daughters, mothers and wives.
Beautiful that is.
Yes,
I think
and
that wraps
then-
it up as well.
Yeah, and the girls need to know that they can do whatever it is that they want to do, whatever they are good at.
Brilliant.
And nobody in the family should stop them. The families should support them.
But
Absolutely.
the responsibility is there.
Absolutely, yes.
Wonderful.
On
And-
both men and women.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And that's wonderful, and that's what the theme is. So that's a
Yeah.
perfect note to end it on. Thank you so much for your time, and it's been an absolute pleasure having both of you on the show to discuss things really real. I feel it was a real discussion.
Yeah,
And,
it was.
You know,
Yes.
we've given a lot of information, and sorry, Shazad, I didn't let you ask as many questions. I just had so many questions as a female
Thank God
as
you
well.
said it. I mean, this week was all about this,
I
right?
know, but you did. Well, wait till tomorrow, guys, and then you can give us feedback about that.
Okay,
But
so are
thank
we
you
are
so
we
much.
giving away that surprise? Yes, obviously.
No. Oh, we didn't discuss it.
It's everywhere. You know, the montages
No,
are
no.
there. We have been uploading pictures as
fine.
well. So, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow in the morning, on 8th of March, International Women's Day, we are going to have the Minister of Information, Broadcasting and National Heritage, Pakistan, Ms. Mariam Aurangzeb, over here on the show. So please make sure,
You watch it.
that you
Because
watch it. Yeah.
It is going to be absolutely fabulous.
And we're
you know,
excited.
And you learn things that you wouldn't normally learn when you're looking at the internet as well, because it's a real discussion one-on-one. Just really watch
And
it.
I think
really worth it.
we would like to thank her for her invitation by saying that you guys can probably come over to my place. So let's see how it goes. And I think we have got quite a lot of preparation to do that.
Absolutely. And with that, do log on to our Facebook fan
Which
page,
is with the name of Well This Morning.
our Twitter page,
Well This Morning without a G.
our Daily Motion YouTube page.
Well This Morning and Well This Morning.
Have a wonderful day. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and do tune in tomorrow morning, 9:05 a.m.
And do tune in for the fabulous repeat, which is at 11 p.m. Till the next time, 1, 2, 3, good morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. So what is the minister?